Amazon just implemented some huge updates that completely changes how Amazon FBA works. And for those of you that don't know, FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And this is a service that Amazon offers us sellers where they'll handle pretty much everything for us, which is what makes selling on Amazon so attractive, because you literally never have to see or touch your products if you don't want to. How it works is you ship all of your inventory to Amazon's warehouse where they'll actually store it for you, and anytime you make a sale, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship your products to your customer, handle all of the logistics including any returns, refunds, and even all of the customer service. And this process used to be extremely simple and convenient, but not anymore. Not with the recent changes Amazon just implemented. And this is going to be one of the main topics I want to cover in this video, because with just this one major change alone, us sellers need to be aware of how to handle the new processes. Otherwise, Amazon is now going to charge us penalty fees. And speaking of fees, I'm going to cover two other major changes. The second major change is with the new Amazon fee structure. And for those of us that have been selling on Amazon for a while now, this shouldn't be much of a surprise. Amazon updates the fees pretty much every year. However, this time, they've made a huge change to the fee structure. Some good, some not so good, so you're going to want to pay attention here. I'll go over how you can take advantage of some of these changes so you can actually save some money. And third, Amazon has implemented a host of new penalties. Penalties for issues that may not have been a problem in the past, but are now. So you want to pay attention here and stick around to the end, because I'm going to go over a ton of new things that a lot of Amazon sellers don't know about, which can save you from paying a lot of money and penalties on issues that could have easily been avoided. So the first major change I want to talk about is a huge one that affects everyone. And that's the new fee structure. And while it's true Amazon updates the fees every year, pretty much to stay in line with inflation, it's not all bad news here. You can see here that Amazon says the average increase across the board is only 15 cents. But I'll actually show you how you can avoid having to pay some of these fees, or in some cases, take advantage of some new changes that can even lower your current fees. And while I realize it sucks to have to pay these constantly increasing fees on Amazon, if you think about it, it's actually far cheaper and a much better ROI to pay Amazon to get access to their millions of shoppers worldwide than to try to attract shoppers on your own. Amazon has over 300 million shoppers worldwide that are buying from Amazon every single day. In fact, over 40% of all online sales takes place on Amazon's marketplace. Isn't that nuts? And for a small fee, you can get access to them. And yes, it sucks that they keep raising the fees, but the thing is, the fees don't just affect you, it affects all of the sellers. And we're all in the same boat, so when the fees go up, we can simply pass this on to the shoppers by raising our prices. Now, one of the biggest changes to these fees is the new inbound placement service fee, which affects products in the standard and large bulky sized tiers. In the past, Amazon would just have sellers ship products to their warehouses across the country with no additional fees unless you specifically want to only ship your inventory to one warehouse. Well, that's no longer the case. In order to lower their operating costs, you can see here that Amazon is now charging, on average, a fee of 27 cents per unit for standard size products and $1.58 per unit for large bulky sized products. But you can actually pay a reduced fee or no fee depending on if you decide to ship to one location or multiple locations. So make sure you do the math now when you're sending your products to Amazon to see which option works best for you. And the other thing you should do is smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps out this channel more than you know, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you. And my name is Crescent. If you're finding value in this video and want to learn more about selling on Amazon, you can connect with me as well as surround yourself with other like-minded sellers by joining my Amazon Facebook group. It's one of the largest with over 30,000 members. You can find a link down in the description below. And with that said, it isn't all doom and gloom. On the bright side, Amazon has actually lowered the fees for specific scenarios. You can see here that the fulfillment fee has been reduced for standard size products by 20 cents per unit and 61 cents per unit on large bulky size products. And items priced below $10 will get an additional 77 cents per unit discount. So here's where you need to make sure you package your products in the most efficient way possible as far as the overall size and weight so that you're not overpaying. And a huge bonus to those of you who are selling apparel, Amazon has slashed the fees from 17% to 5% on items priced under $15 and 17% down to 10% for items priced between $15 and $20. And speaking of packaging, Amazon has introduced a brand new program called SIP, which stands for ships in product packaging. Basically what this is in an effort to be more environmentally friendly, you know when you buy something from Amazon, they typically ship the item in one of Amazon's branded boxes or padded envelopes. Well, they're now encouraging sellers to package their products in a shippable package that doesn't require Amazon's branded shipping box or envelope. Basically, if your product qualifies, you can save anywhere from 4 cents to $1.32 depending on the size and weight of your product if Amazon can ship your product in your own packaging. That's a huge savings for us. So definitely consider taking advantage of this discount by talking to your supplier to make sure your product can be properly packaged and protected to avoid damage during shipping in its original packaging. You can also use this opportunity to build your brand and increase its exposure. Think about how many eyes are going to be seeing your box during the shipping process or just sitting outside of the buyer's house. Ask yourself how you can redesign your packaging to enhance your brand recognition and exposure. Now, moving on with the second major change, Amazon introduced a bunch of new penalties that if you don't pay attention, these penalties can add up fast. The first big change is Amazon is now charging a low inventory fee. Yep, you heard me right. If you run low on inventory when you're doing FBA, Amazon is now charging you a penalty fee. I mean, you never really want to be low on inventory anyways, but this is just another kick in the nuts. Basically, if your inventory levels fall below your historical 28-day average, your fees will go up by as much as $1.11 per unit, depending on the tier. But don't worry, this penalty doesn't apply universally. For example, this doesn't apply to new professional sellers for their first 365 days, as well as new FBA products for the first 180 days. Now, if you want to learn more about how this is actually calculated, I'll leave a link to this page down in the description below. Now, if your head isn't spinning yet, there's another penalty Amazon is now implementing. It's called the inbound defect fee. You can probably tell from the name what this applies to. Sellers keep sending in inventory that doesn't meet the inbound shipping guidelines, and these errors and mistakes slow things down on Amazon's end. So to incentivize sellers to follow the inbound shipping guidelines, if you send in inventory with problems, Amazon is going to penalize you. For example, if you ship inventory that doesn't comply to the FBA shipping requirements, Amazon can outright refuse the shipment altogether, or if you ship to the wrong warehouse, you'll get fined a minimum of 4 cents per unit. Now, that may not sound like much, but if you sent in, let's say, 10,000 units, that's a $400 fine. And the third major change Amazon introduced is a returns processing fee. Because Amazon has always had such an excellent no questions asked returns policy, which is great for buyers, some buyers fully abuse this policy, which is not so great for us sellers. So as you can see here, to address the operational costs of returns and reduce waste, Amazon is now charging a returns processing fee for high return rate products in all categories, excluding apparel and shoes, starting at $1.78 per unit. Yeah, I know. And to make things worse, Amazon has also increased the removal, disposal, and liquidation order fees, making dealing with returns even more expensive. So for those of you that don't follow my Amazon strategy, you need to be conscious of this change and make changes to your product and sales strategy to reduce your return rate. This is why I only sell quality premium products that have value and always make 100% sure that my product listings easily communicate the benefits and features of the product and clearly describe what it can and cannot do so that the buyer knows exactly what they're getting. This will drastically lower your return rate and generate higher product review ratings. Now, for those of you that are still worried about the fees, there's actually several ways that you can offset some of these increased fees. Unsurprisingly, Amazon doesn't actually advertise these methods, so I know a lot of you don't even know that these exist, such as Amazon actually has a program called New Seller Incentives. For example, I'll highlight a few here. For brand registered sellers, you can get a 10% bonus on your first $50,000 in sales. $200 in Vine credits, which basically makes it free since it costs up to $200 to enroll. $100 in credits in inventory shipping fees for using the Amazon Partnered Carrier Program. $400 in credits that apply to the FBA inbound placement service fee. $50 in promotional clicks for using sponsored products. $50 in coupon credits. And you can even drastically lower your FBA referral fee. The typical referral fee is 15%, but if you take advantage of the brand referral program, you can lower that fee down to as little as 5%. So as you can see, these are huge benefits that we can take advantage of to offset all of the new fees and updates, but only if you know about them. So if you want to read up on these on your own, I'll leave a link to all of these programs and offers down in the description below. Now, one of the biggest fees and penalties you can incur has to do with shipping, because it's one of the areas that so many sellers get wrong. So to make sure you properly package, label, and ship your products to Amazon, click right over here.